The cornerstones of Donald Trump's campaign were promises to repeal Obamacare and ban Muslims from the United States.
Obamacare is a complete and total disaster. The Muslim ban is something that in some form has morphed into an extreme vetting.
It took Trump less than 70 days to fail on both promises. Why, he's risen to number 2 on YouTube's list of world's worst fails ever 2017, edged out by just one video. Little boy with tongue stuck to frozen pole.
Don't pull it.
And yet, despite the fails, the lies, and the incompetence, Trump's base supports him like they're Spanx and he's Marie Osmond. What explains this loyalty? Science has the answer. Welcome to Be Less Stupid. Have a look at this puzzle. Which drawing do you think best illustrates the correct mechanics and structure of a bicycle? How you answer this will help explain the loyalty of Trump voters. I will explain that in just a bit. But first, by any measure, Trump's first 70 days in office have been so bad that he's now in line to be the next spokesman for Subway. Much of the media and half the country think that he's the living embodiment of Montezuma's revenge, which, by the way, has got to make Trump furious, given his hatred of Mexicans. And yet, the other half of the country thinks that he's Jesus. What I wanted to know is, what the fuck? Seriously, how does that happen? How is it that two people can look at President Trump and have such polar opposite observations? To find out how this happens, I conducted an experiment. I set up a fake account and joined more than 50 pro-Trump Facebook groups. I created a meme that said, "What do you like about President Trump?" And then I shared it. I got more than 1,000 responses in less than 24 hours. Most of which were, "Fuck you, Jew libtard." I'm kidding. That's a joke. It wasn't most people who said that. It was everyone. Okay, that was a joke too. Nobody said anything bad to me, I swear. Look, the thing that people wrote most is that they like Trump because he is not a politician, that he's a real American, not corrupted by Washington, nor is he beholden to any one person or group. The next most common response was that Trump believes in God. I swear that's true. This was followed in near equal measure by Trump loves America, he keeps his promises, that he's a good businessman, that he can't be bought, and that he tells the truth. 7 big ideas. Okay, look, one of them is definitely true. Trump is not a politician. I think one of them could, quite frankly, go either way. And I'm pretty sure that Trump does not believe in God. How could he possibly put his faith in a guy who built the heavens and the earth, but didn't want anyone to know about it, so he didn't put his name on anything? Because, by the way, you know that if Trump had built the entrance to heaven, it would say Trump Gates. And by the way, you can bet that it would have the loosest slots. 4 of the 7 things that people say they love about Trump are mathematically, scientifically untrue. They're talked about everywhere. Search anything at all on Google, and one of the results is Trump lies. I looked up the 10 best metal songs from the 1980s, and Trump Lies came in above Crazy Train and Girls, Girls, Girls. Next, Trump is a great businessman the way Bill Cosby was a great first date. This guy has crashed more businesses than Goldman Sachs' mortgage derivatives. Here's just a partial list of some of his failed businesses. Next, Trump is keeping his promises to voters the same way that Lance Armstrong kept his promise to cycling's anti-doping agency. During the campaign, Trump promised to do 18 things on day 1. He didn't do and hasn't done 13 of them. Next, you're being naive if you think that Trump can't be bought. This guy craves money the way astronauts on a spacewalk crave oxygen. So, this gets us back to my question. Why do so many people believe so many things about Donald Trump that are, quite frankly, so obviously false? Well, it turns out there's a couple of reasons. First, humans do not know as much as they think they do. And by the way, not just Trump voters, all people. Let me give you an example. Do you remember the bike sketch from earlier? I posted it in about 30 pro-Trump Facebook groups. I asked them to pick the drawing that best represented the mechanics and the structure of a bicycle. I got nearly 700 responses. And about 65% of the people picked bicycle A, the correct answer, which means that 35% of the people picked one of the other three, one of which has no mechanism to attach the rear tire. And just in case you think, oh, it was only the Trump voters that he tested, of course those people, they're idiots, they got the wrong answers. Well, guess what? I also posted the puzzle in about 30 anti-Trump liberal Facebook groups. And guess what? They also got it wrong about 30% of the time. So, why do so many people get that puzzle wrong? First of all, each of us, all of us, we overestimate our own knowledge to one degree or another, and not just about bicycles. Because individually, we don't really have to know precisely how a bike works. The physics of weight distribution, the tensile strength of the aluminum frame, chain length versus gear ratio. Our brains have adapted to make decisions quickly, to have answers quickly. The way we do that is by knowing, well, just the gist of things, kind of the broad strokes, not the details. So, when a person is asked, do you know how a bike works? And they respond, oh, absolutely. What they mostly mean is that they know, well, sit, balance, pedal, ring bell. What they don't know is engineering and physics and the mechanics of motion. The same is true for complicated political issues, like, say, the ramifications of a single-payer healthcare system versus whatever the fuck Obamacare is. Or if 3 million people really did illegally vote in New Hampshire, or if Obama really did wiretap Trump's phones. You see, what people have really is an illusion of knowledge. That's right, what we have is the illusion of knowledge. And that gets us to another reason that Trump supporters don't regret their vote. It's because they're relying on facts and information about the success or failure of the Trump presidency, which are stored in other people. You see, groups are unbelievably powerful. We rely on our friends and our family and our community and our church, our Facebook friends, to have information that we don't. It's another one of the brain's workarounds, since it's not practical or even possible to know everything. And while we're right to trust the engineers at Schwinn about, say, bicycle engineering, Trump voters are making a mistake to trust, say, Fox News and Breitbart and their Facebook friends about politics.
Confirming what President Trump has been now saying for weeks.
Because not only do each of them also suffer from the illusion of knowledge, those institutions have an agenda that is meant to intentionally keep their supporters misinformed in order to keep them voting against their own self-interest. Because as long as poor and middle-class people continue to support Donald Trump, Trump and Fox are able to implement their real goals: tax breaks for the rich and fewer regulations for business. Two agendas, neither of which will pave roads, improve schools, or ensure that medicine and medical treatment get to those in need. That's it. Go to our streaming service at factbox.tv, that's factbox.tv, where you can see 40 previous episodes, all of which are free. Plus, check out all of our other factual entertainment shows. If you like Mythbusters, The Daily Show, Pizza, and Explosions, you will love our other shows as well. I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time on Be Less Stupid.